Good morning everybody. I'm going to make some videos today to show you what's happening in school at the moment, and if you were to come back into school at any point between now and the end of the summer term, this is how it might look. So if you look behind me here in the front of school, everybody is coming in from the front entrance, and you might just be able to see up there the green spots and some blue arrows to help us come in first thing in the morning so that we can socially distance and stay safe. So I would, if there was a queue of children, I would stand on a spot so that I can then keep 2 meters apart and get to the front. And when you get to the front, you might see somebody like Mrs. Bune, who will be there to greet you and welcome you into school. Good morning, Mrs. Bune.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, so Mrs. Bune would check the register and then make sure you get into school safely and say bye to mums and dads or whoever's brought you to school. And then at the front of school, you might see somebody like Mr. H. Good morning, Mr. H.
Good morning.
And somebody in the office. Good morning, Mrs. O'Day.
Good morning, Mr. Parker.
And we might use some hand gel, so Mr. O'Day's going to help me with that.
Sanitize your hands.
Thank you very much. I'm going to give that to Mr. Harrison so I can make sure my hands are nice and clean. And I've got signs here to remind me. Sammy says wash your hands, so I can sign in. And then I will come into school, remembering to keep a safe distance. Thank you, Mr. H. I'll take that back. And you might see here some signs helping us with Ellie and Daisy to keep a safe distance and to wash our hands and to make sure if we're sneezing, we're using tissues and we can catch it, bin it and kill it. Okay, so I thought you might like to see what's happening on the ground floor. So at the moment we've got 2 bubbles of children on the ground floor, and the first group is with Miss Folks or Mrs. Bino. In this classroom here, we've got a group of year 1 and year 2 children, and they have a classroom space and half the hall. Okay, so that we try to have no more than 7 or 8 children in the classroom at one time with the adults, so that we can try and space out as much as possible to prevent us passing germs to each other. So let's have a little look at what they're doing, shall we? So you can see just here, if we look quickly, we've got some children working with Miss Folks on the carpet space and making sure they stay spread out. And then over on the other side of the hall, we have a group of nursery and reception children, and they're using the same. So we're using tables and a classroom space to be spread out, you see. Okay, I'm working with Mrs. Wilkinson. Okay, so our other 2 bubbles are on the top floor at the moment. So we've got a 3-4 key worker bubble and a 5-6 key worker bubble. If you look behind me here on the middle floor, we've got some barriers out because we are not using the middle floor at the moment because it's being cleaned. Morning, Victor.
Good morning.
Okay, so at the moment we have Miss Atkinson's classroom and Mrs. Smithson's classroom over here being cleaned so that we can start bringing some more children in soon as possible. So if we go upstairs, we should be able to see what those 2 bubbles are doing. Back in a second. Okay, so again, on the top floor, we have 2 groups with half the hall each. You'll see signs on the stairwells for which stairs are for going up and which ones are for going down. We're not using the cloakrooms at the moment, so that makes things a little bit easier. You should be able to see that we've got half the hall here for the 5-6 group. 5-6 group working in Mr. Morland's classroom with Mr. Morland or Mr. Mould. And then on the other side of the hall, we have space for the 3-4 bubble, and they're working with either Miss Atkinson or Mrs. Smithson. So you should be able to see that here somewhere. Just have a little look. Lucy. Wave. Nobody's waving to me. Okay, and then in this classroom, we have deep cleaned the classroom, and we are starting to think about how we could set this one up for more children to come and join us. Okay. So I'm just going to show you what's happening in the 5-6 bubble. You'll see the children are really spaced out and using their own resources like Chromebooks and a set of resources like pencils, and I think they're currently just watching news round and getting ready to do some seesaw tasks as well. So the ICT suite looks a bit different at the moment because we've had to put quite a lot of spare resources and things in there that are difficult to clean. So we're not using those at the moment. The other thing that's a bit strange on the top floor is if I come over to where the 5-6 bubble is, the Moreland's classroom, to use the toilets, I need to go straight across the hall and down the stairs and then across to the middle floor, because this stairwell is the only one to go down. So I have to go down this stairwell, down to the middle floor, you can see in the kitchen here, look, lots of pack up lunches. So we're only having cold lunches at the moment in our groups and for people to deliver to home. So I've come down to the middle floor. Look, so I'm in the 3-4 cloakroom. I would need to go straight across to use these toilets here. Okay, so when the bubble groups come outside, we are using different areas of the playground. So you might, for example, be using the ball court and the gym equipment, and then we use a special cleaning spray to wipe down the equipment so that a different group, a different bubble of children can come outside. On the other side of the playground, we might have a group by Bertie and over here, and the younger children might also use the play area over here. And we are hoping that we would be able to set up a new bubble group in the nursery building and using the nursery play area. Okay, I hope that's helped everybody for you to see what's happening. Say morning to Bertie. What's happening in school at the moment. So I'm hoping that's helped for you to be able to see what we've set up in school and how we are trying to safely and gradually increase capacity so that more children can come back into our care safely. So we have 4 groups, 4 bubbles set up across the school, 2 on the ground floor, 2 on the top floor, and they each have a classroom space, half a hall and an outdoor space. We've found that the children are trying very hard to socially distance, and the adults are doing that also, but it is quite tricky. And that means that we have to provide as much space as possible for each bubble. So even in such a big school as ours, we need a lot of space for each group so that we can have no more than 7 or 8 in a classroom with adults and use the hall space at the same time so that we can spread out as much as possible and do that in a nice way. So we are going to continue with that, and we are expecting that more parents will need to go back to work as key workers. So we are sending out another booking form for key workers from the 17th of June for another 2-week period. We are also going to use the middle floor when the cleaning team have finished doing a wonderful job of setting that up so we can introduce 2 more bubbles. That will allow us to bring some Year 6 children back, and we are going to set up 2 bubbles for that. So on a Monday and Tuesday, we'll have a bubble group of Year 6 children. We'll do a deep clean on a Wednesday and with the resources also. And then on Thursday, Friday, we'll offer spaces for another bubble for Year 6 children. We'll be sending out a form for that also via parent mail, so please look for that. But if you have any questions about either form or what that means for your children specifically, please give me a call or send an email. We will be carrying on with Seesaw and online learning and keeping that to the same standard as we have done throughout the last 10 weeks. Each bubble currently has 2 teachers, so they have some flexibility of working with children in school and also being able to be online and help with Seesaw. So I hope that helps. You know where I am. If you need anything at all, please get in touch, and I will see you on Friday for the celebration assembly. Bye bye for now.